Hey guys, hope you're all having an awesome day. All right, so quick check-in about what's been going on, and then of course, we're gonna pull some cards. So I know I've been saying this about the energy being weird, but it really is. Like, I don't know any other way to say it other than it has been so abnormal. What I have noticed is for people who are in my cycle, take it again only if it resonates. If it doesn't resonate with you now, it might in the future, or it just might not be a message for you. That's okay. If something doesn't resonate throughout the whole reading, don't take it. Only take it if it actually intuitively aligns with you. And if it does not intuitively align with you, just let it be. Okay. A lot of us are going into the past, and it almost feels like the past is repeating itself, but not really. So energetically and emotionally, it feels like it's repeating itself. What I have been getting, for some of us, we are transmuting that, or we're making different choices, or some of us are being guided. It almost reminds me of like the movie Ghosts of Girlfriends Past with Matthew McConaughey, where you're going back and you're feeling how you used to feel, and you're seeing things from a different perspective than you used to see them to help you with actually moving forward and growing now. There's a lot of very conflicting energies and emotions and feelings kind of coming up, especially with certain things that you knew were going to happen, or you thought were going to happen, or you wanted to happen, where disappointment might be coming through, moments of clarity might be coming through. What I've noticed is it's kind of like this almost weird void energy where you're disconnected from your intuition or yourself or your inner knowing, how we normally will connect to that. We haven't really been able to have access for personal use unless we're supposed to. But what I've noticed as certain things are coming up, you'll have just like a little blip of like knowing or clarity to help you kind of just get through what you're going through right in that moment to kind of move you forward. Some of it does feel like tests, but some of it does not feel like tests. I know I've been talking about this, and I'm going to say it again just because I feel like I need to for some reason, but I know I talk about energy a lot. I work with energy. It is one of my gifts. It is one of my purposes here. I don't like to say clairsentient because I feel like that just kind of boxes it in, and I feel all kinds of energy, everything. Animals, like you talk about a person, I can feel it without them being here. You show me a picture, I can feel the energy of it. Pretty much anything, right? I also channel into energy, and I also transmute energy. One of the newer things that's been going on, which I kind of talked about like almost, I think a month ago, I can't keep track of time, which I never can, so it makes total sense. But I was in like, my body's physically here, but I could feel myself in the past, like dealing with and healing stuff from certain time periods. And then I was also having this like weird deja vu where I'm like, I know all of this. I've never seen these TV shows. It's still going on, by the way. I've never seen these TV shows. I've never seen these movies. I've never talked to this person, but it's all feels familiar, like it's already all happened before. And kind of what I got was I'm going in past, present, and future energy. So I didn't really get an answer and understanding. It took a few weeks. All I knew was I was getting a gift upgrade. That's all I knew. They kind of told me a few days ago that I do energetic like time traveling with it. I don't understand it totally. I don't also understand the purpose of going into the future. But what I've noticed is some of the struggles and things I've been going through are very spiritual struggles versus human struggles. I don't know anybody else who's going through it right now. Part of the reason I've been keeping to myself is because I'm just trying to handle shit the best way I can. And the best way I can is usually by doing it on my own, which I always tell people, like the best knowledge you're going to get is from yourself, not reading it online. Or unless you have like a spiritual, person like myself who you trust, who will give you accurate information. And I say accurate information because not everybody who is spiritual is authentic and real and has actually done their spiritual healing and work to be able to differentiate energies and feelings and emotions and help you, which is why certain ones you'll resonate with at certain times and certain ones you don't. So what I've noticed is I've been kind of struggling with the spiritual side. I've been kind of struggling with this for about 2 years now. And I've been talking to spirit, and I'm like, why do I have to keep going through all these really painful, but also really, really tough emotional experiences and spiritual experiences? And I'm like, it doesn't really make total sense. I've noticed after I go through something for a period of time, I usually meet other people and I guide and help them. And so kind of the message I got was that I'm here to help other people. And they had actually told me something. It popped up for me this morning. They'd actually told me something that they told me, I want to say it was about a year ago. I was at my store and I was talking to somebody, and I know she's on this page, so if she watches this, I'm sure she's going to know what I'm talking about. But they had told me I'm going to send a master. And I remember exactly where I was sitting in my chair in the store, and I felt so uncomfortable. I felt so much pressure. I was like, no. And like, she could feel it too. And I was definitely resisting the energy. I was like, because to me, ascended masters are like Jesus, Buddha, like people have come here who are great spiritual teachers. And I was like, oh, no. First off, I'm definitely not that. It's like, no, in general, I'm not that. And I'm like, also, that's a lot of pressure to live up to. What I've kind of realized is I've always had a bigger purpose of being here, and I've always known I had a bigger purpose. I just didn't always understand it, and I'm starting to actually grow into it and starting to appreciate it and understand it. And I know that whatever this bigger purpose is yet, it hasn't been revealed to me. It's only been slowly revealed to me throughout the time. I know part of it does have to do with mental health and societal healing. I know for me personally, last week, I think I talked about it in a video. Last week, I was feeling like I was in the 1920s. The other day, I was feeling like the 1940s and 50s. And what I realized is energetically, I'll go back and try to heal collective stuff. Try to, I guess, get energy from there to help heal it now or something. And kind of the sense, they didn't give me a definite on this, but kind of the sense I got was part of the reason I'm going into future energy is to kind of get information I need to present it now. But there's also a bigger spiritual lesson there for me with that, and I'm not totally sure what it is yet. I'll know what I'm supposed to know, obviously, because certain things take a while for us to get the answers on. Some of this I'm only getting on the answers years later, like literally years later. But I know one of the things that I've been struggling with is that human spiritual connection, because you can go to a therapist when you're having certain like problems with relationships and all these things, but who do you go to when you're having spiritual problems? So Spirit has shown me that is going to be one of my gifts and purposes to help people with, is being basically like a spiritual therapist, to help people as they're awakening or as they're going through all these spiritual experiences. In order for me to do that, I had to go through them myself so I could feel other people's energy. But a lot of times, like say, I don't like to label things, but like say like earth angels work usually with the angelic dimension. What I've been getting from Spirit, and I understand it a little bit more now, is over the years I've worked with different beings. I've worked with angels, I've worked with archangels, ascended masters, spirit guides, energy, galactic beings, like things like that. And what I've noticed is each little step has brought me to understand things a little bit more. And the reason why is because the way I work with energy, when I pick up on it, I can feel it. So when I meet certain people, I can feel where your energy is from. I can help you on your spiritual path and get like things going. Some of you guys have been fortunate enough to be in the store when certain things like that happen. And it's just such a beautiful, like profound experience to like be able to guide people and see it and just feel them awaken. And that's why I always say that like part of the gift is, I call it a spiritual activator, to help people awaken to their true soul self rather than just the human stuff. But some of the experiences I'm going through right now is I'm seeing future stuff, I'm feeling future stuff, but it's not aligned with right now. And this has been going on for a few years, and it's hard for me to kind of decipher and differentiate. And I know that there's a bigger reason I'm going through this. I just don't totally understand it. So that's kind of what's been going on with me now. But what I've noticed is all of the stuff that has been really difficult for me for the last few years, I'm only just getting small little answers now. And the reason I'm explaining this is because everything you're going through has a purpose. Everything that you're going through is helping you release the old. It is helping release conditioning. It is helping you get to where you need to be. And I know I've been talking about this with the mental health thing for a few months now. I know that this is going to be something I'm guiding other people with too, because the way as a society we look at mental health is just not accurate. It's just honestly not accurate. And I always tell people this because I think it makes people feel more comfortable, is I have a bachelor in psychology. I have 10 years in social work. I left a job in the mental health field. I was there for over 5 years. So I also have the actual real world experience. But my higher self, my soul self, which is what I connect to probably more than my human self, also channel stuff directly from source. So I don't even need all of that experience and stuff. And there's a lot of light workers who are coming into that, where we're realizing we don't need degrees. We don't need these backgrounds to be able to do things at an energetic level. You either trust somebody when you meet them or you don't. You might have some fears. There might be some scare because you're like, what are they going to tell me? I'm not ready to face this. I don't think I'm strong enough. But there's also that sense of, I trust this person. And so everything is an exchange of energy. Not everybody has the awareness to it, but a lot of people are awakening to that and seeing that a lot more, that everything is actually energy. And so I know for me, one of the things, and I talked about this, I know a year ago, my old best friend used to say, you constantly talk about energy, you're fucking crazy, like all this stuff. And I went through this big period of time, and I still kind of go through it a little bit, where I'm like, oh my God, am I talking about energy too much? Is it this too much? Is this? And I'm starting to get to this place where I'm like, if it fucking bothers you, you don't need to be here and watch me and listen to me. That's like the place I'm at right now, because even if you're my friend, you can't fucking handle what I have to say, then don't fucking talk to me. And that's not me being an asshole. That's just me sitting there and saying, this is actually who I am. And I'm actually starting to fucking embrace who I am and love that part of myself, that I feel things so deeply. I feel things so differently. And one of the things that came up for me, especially a few days ago in one of my dreams, I had this very realistic dream of me in high school. And it was definitely me going backwards, right? And I just didn't fit in. I never felt like I fit in. I never really understood it because I always had friends, but I always felt like I didn't fit in with like the cheerleaders and like those big crowds. And I always kind of looked at them and was like, oh, I'd love to have like this big group of friends, right? But what I realized is I never actually wanted that. I think what I actually wanted was to feel like I fit in. It wasn't actually about having this big group. And I think as a society, a lot of us go through this where, especially, I know for me, I've went through this where, you know, you're scrolling on Instagram and I fucking hate Fashion Nova. That shit drives me fucking mental. But you're seeing all these girls, and it's not shitting on them at all, but you see all these girls who have the plastic surgery, they have the lips enhanced, the tits enhanced, the waist cut, the big ass, the big thighs and all that, nothing wrong with that. But then you see all of this where it's constantly like thrown in your face, the Barbie image, this is what a woman's body should look like, that it creates this kind of disconnect that there's something wrong with your body because you're not seeing it represented, because it's being thrown in your face where, look, these women are making money off their looks, they're making this, guys are liking them, and it creates self-esteem issues, self-doubt issues, especially when you have trauma from the past, especially when you have other underlying feelings of unworthiness. Men go through the same thing too. It's not just women. Men go through the exact same thing too. People go through this. A lot of people don't talk about it. And I think what happens is too, and I know I've experienced this, where I see, you know, this group of girls or these group of people where they have all these people around them, or they're constantly with other friends, and it's like, oh wow, why don't I have that? Like, why all these things? And what I've been learning and realizing is, one, I don't actually want that at all. Like, I like to keep to myself a lot. Like, I have a lot of friends. I have my really, really close friends. And then I have like a bunch of people I consider friends that I don't talk to regularly because I like to be by myself, especially lately as I'm going through this. I've been connecting more to my soul for the last few years than I have my human self. So for me, it's just a totally different thing. Hi, Seiji Poo, come here. Is a totally different thing. But what I'm realizing is some of us were just born to be different, and we don't fit in because we're not like other people. And you know, before like the whole spiritual phase is like this quote unquote trend, which if you guys know me, you know I'm a fucking rebel and I hate following trends. That's why everybody's like, do you get Moldavite in your store? I could get real Moldavite. I refuse to, for fucking principle purposes, because you're trying to buy it because it's a trend, not because you actually want it or need it. And I don't do shit like that. You guys know how I am, very real. I don't do shit like that. But I have been collecting crystals over 10 years. I've been collecting crystals before crystals were a trend, where it was like, oh, you collect crystals. Oh, you're one of those. Oh, you're one of whatever. I've always been like that. I remember being 14 years old, kind of doing like spells the first time. I don't do that now, but the first time I remember doing it, I think it was like 13 or 14, and I bought this book on Wiccans, and I actually love this book. I can't remember, don't ask me what it was. I mean, this was literally 23 years ago. I can't remember shit now, but I bought this book, and it was just talking about how Wiccans are all about mind, body, spirit, about connecting to earth. All things are equal. And for most people who know, I've been a vegetarian over 15 years now, not because of the book, obviously, just because I love animals, animal rights and stuff like that. But I really connected to this, and I really saw this different perception of how society views witches as these things of the past rather than most of them. Of course, there's exceptions to every rule, are actually these peaceful beings who use the earth and earthly elements to kind of just manifest, to bring about energy transmutation just in a different way, right? That's pretty much what it is energy transmutation and stuff like that. So, yeah, I remember like just kind of being into that. I bought my first deck. Hi babies. I bought my first deck, I think when I was 18. I was 18 or I was younger. I can't remember. I still have it. I don't use it. It's a tarot deck. I don't use it. I love oracle decks, honestly. You guys know that. Like, I love them. But, yeah, and I remember just always being into that. But, you know, as I've grown up, Spirit's also shown me, like, in the last year or so, like, how I've had gifts since I was a kid. I remember getting messages as a child. I remember seeing things as a kid, stuff that is actually messages for now or future that I was getting back when I was like 5, 6, 7 years old and stuff. So it's really kind of interesting to see as you kind of go backwards and stuff like that. So anyway, the whole purpose of me telling you this is like a lot of us are learning to not try to fit in, to love ourselves the way we are. And I don't fit in. I'm never going to fit in, and I don't fucking care. Like, I've always just kind of been that way. I've always kind of been a rebel. I've always kind of done my own thing, and I'm never going to not be that way. I'm never going to just fit in just because that's the cool thing. It's the trendy thing. Like, I don't follow the fucking trends. I do whatever the hell naturally feels good to me and aligns with me. And I will say one of the things I love about myself, I'm an honest ass person. I'm a real ass person. Like, what you see is what you get. And I want to tell you this. I don't know why, like, I wanted to just share this. I just remember this experience at not the job I just left, the job before, when I worked at DCF, which anybody who knows, child abuse investigations is a very toxic ass environment. It's very political. You would think it's not, but it was actually the job I wanted. That's why I went for my psychology degree, because I wanted to help kids. And I still, you know, it's still my passion, of course, too. But anyway, I remember somebody was just starting drama and whatever, and was like, Brittany called you a bitch. And I found out about it a few weeks later, and I go, are you fucking kidding me? Like, this girl literally said that. So I went directly to the girl that I supposedly called a bitch to, who I didn't. And I said, hey, did she tell you that I called you a bitch? And she goes, yeah. I go, why didn't you say anything? She goes, I know you didn't. I was like, how do you know? She's like, because I know you'd say that shit to my face. And I was like, and she's like, I know you're going to get pissed off. And I was like, all right, that's fair. And it always sticks in my head, because as much as I've always been told that I'm a bitch, I've been told I'm a bitch. My ex used to tell me that all the time. He's like, why are you proud of being a bitch? Because I don't think a bitch is what people think a bitch is. I think a societal name of a bitch is a woman or a person who really stands in their power and is assertive and is blunt and is honest and is real, and people can't handle that. So people take that as like a negative thing because they don't live in their truth, or they don't want to see the truth, or they can't handle the truth, and they want very passive, fluffy bullshit. And so I've always embraced when people are like, you're a bitch, I'm like, thank you. And I've always embraced it as like a compliment. So that thing happened probably 8 years ago, maybe, or something. And it stuck with me so much. And it made me realize that people actually appreciate your realness, and people actually appreciate your authenticity, and people don't question you like that because they know that you're gonna fucking tell them the truth. You know what I mean? So anyway, anybody who is struggling right now, first off, you'll get through it. It has its purpose. One of the things I do that helped me get through it is remind myself that I'm okay. Remind myself, no matter what is going on, like, I'm okay. This will pass. This is not going to last. And this has a purpose, even if I don't understand it. And just saying those things to me helps me get through it. Sitting with them and not distracting them helps me release it and get through it. So that is the best advice I could give you, anything you're going through. And I also just going to say this and back this up. For some reason, especially lately, people think that I've just got my shit together, that I don't have fears, that I don't any of this. It's just so inaccurate. I have fears that come up. I have overthinking that comes up. I have anxiety that comes up. I was feeling depressed. Today alone, I woke up, I was going back into this old energy and feeling all this. I'm like, what the fuck is this? I went through this like anxiety, then just feeling very chaotic energy, then feeling really depressed. It was just all over the place today. The energy is just so up and down today. I've learned how to manage it, okay? Like I've learned how to ground, I've learned how to cope with it, and that's why you can see me feeling calm and being able to talk about things, because I've learned how to cope with it. I've learned how to go with the flow more. I've learned how to surrender more. I've learned how to do these things more. And it's literally just simply as letting things be what they are. Even when you have thoughts that you don't like, that are uncomfortable, wow, the light just went down a lot. Just letting things be what it is. Like, you cannot fucking change certain things. You can't change your feelings. You can't change your emotions. So it's learning how to sit with them and accept them as they are, and not getting mad at yourself and appreciating them, looking at the lesson of what it's teaching you. And I've been talking about this. I haven't had a lot of passion lately. I haven't had a lot of excitement lately. The things that normally excite me or bring me happiness have not been doing that. And it's not that I've been in this like depressive like state of mind. I've been going through this really big ass spiritual experience. And one of the things that was going on for the last like month or so, I'm seeing all these people, certain people were kind of going through what I was going through, and I was feeling like less alone. I was like, all right, I know they're not going through exactly what I'm going through, but I was feeling less alone. But then I'd see all these people after a little bit, it would stop for them, and they're just like fucking elated, they're feeling passion, they're feeling creative, the things that they're wanting is manifesting. And I'm like, I've been going through this shit for years. Everything y'all are showing me, nothing's fucking happening, nothing's manifesting, nothing's this, and all this stuff. And I was kind of going through this period where it's like feeling jealous, to be honest. And I'm going to say this because a lot of people think jealousy is a problem. Jealousy is not a problem. Jealousy is an emotion, a feeling, whatever word you want to use. We all have it. We all have it, okay? It's just wanting something for ourselves that we don't have. That's all it is. You can still support and love somebody and be happy for somebody while wishing and wanting it for yourself. There is nothing wrong with that. There is duality, guys. When you act out on your jealousy and you try to bring somebody else down, you try to sabotage them, you try to fuck with them, that is the problem of jealousy. The feeling of it is not a fucking problem. So for anybody who needs to hear that, it is not a problem. I went through this and I was like feeling like such a piece of shit for feeling jealous or, whatever. And I'm like, I should be, this and this. No, I shouldn't be. I'm feeling exactly what I'm supposed to be feeling, because it's bringing up all these unworthy feelings. It's bringing up all this other shit that's happened over the years and stuff. So anyway, I was going through that kind of for a period of time, and I'm just like, why the fuck is nothing coming for me? And it took a little while where I kind of got from spirit is because you have a bigger spiritual purpose, because there's other things that you're healing and you're growing through and you're going through to bring about change to yourself and other people. And so that's why you're going through this right now. And it helped me understand. Me understanding stuff always helps me feel better. Lately, I've actually stopped really asking for clarity. I kind of just say to them, if I need to know something, tell me. I've kind of stopped asking for clarity or looking for it. I'm kind of at this phase where I'm like, if I'm supposed to know something, I'm going to know it. I'm going to try to trust and surrender. That does not mean I stay in that energy. It's a work in progress. So sometimes we go a little bit this way and we're like, all right, let's have a conversation and a little pep talk with ourselves so we can move forward. So not always like that, but it's stuff that I've been working through. All right. Anyway, I hope that helps anybody who's going through this. I hope it relates to you. I'm going to pull some cards now. So I actually wanted to say I'm really proud. I actually made this deck a year ago. I didn't even celebrate, but I'm pretty sure it's been like over a year now. I'm going to go look at the date. I can't even believe I don't remember the date, but I definitely remember it was June last year when I made the deck and put my deck out. So I definitely want to do some type of, like, if you buy one, some type of like gift or giveaway or something like that. I'm just not sure what I'm going to do. And actually my, the crystal store I've had open for almost 2 years. So I'm going to, like that, I'm going to be doing something. If you're local, I'm going to be doing something. I'm not totally sure, but snackies are going to be involved and free gifts. So if anybody is not local, if you don't follow me, my crystal page is Healing Earth Crystals on Facebook, or it's Healing Earth Crystals FL, like Florida, on Instagram. It's tagged in all my links in any of my profiles and stuff, but obviously I'll do a free gift, and whatever I'm going to do in store, I'll do online too for all of my other followers. So, okay. I'm excited about that. I just remembered about it today and I was like, oh shit, okay. Anyway, on the bottom, we got foundation. We got divine masculine. Can I just say, in divine timing, for anybody who's impatient like me, I'm impatient as fuck. I might seem patient. I call myself patiently impatient. And I say I'm patiently impatient because I am patient as fuck and I will wait for some shit forever. But I'm impatient with the process sometimes. But I'll sit there and I'll be patient, I'll wait, but I'm not feeling patient as it's going on. Anyway, there has been a huge shift with the masculines. I still get there's a big shift that hasn't fully integrated taking place with them. If you've also noticed, if you're a feminine, primarily your energy probably toward the masculine has shifted. A lot of the feminines are coming into their truth, their authenticity, their power, and it's shifting the masculines, especially masculines who are sitting in wounded energy or continuing to make the same choices over and over and over. And it's kind of shifting them right now. But this is definitely bringing collectively and with us too, this stability in our foundation. This is like Spirit's saying, like, a lot of you guys have already been working on this. You just don't realize that's all the hard times and stuff that's been going on. That's what you've actually been doing. You've been getting rid of the old conditioning to actually bring in like the stability and foundation. But you're going to see huge shifts in the masculine, and the masculines, generally speaking, lead in the physical. The feminines, generally, all of it, I'm saying generally, lead intuitively. They lead through feeling. They lead through emotion. Not to say that we don't, shift. We have both energies in us, obviously, but one is more primary than the other. Whereas the masculines kind of take lead. They bring stability, they bring safety, they bring practicality, they bring logic, they bring things that are different than the feminines. I shouldn't say women because it is not gendered. It usually ends up like that, but it's not always that way. That is going to bring this huge shift in the collective when the masculines come into that energy, which is also going to bring a shift in the feminine. It's going to bring a nice balance. We're just kind of in the imbalance right now. All right, we got understanding and humanity. I love how the trees are coming up. It definitely feels like a lot of you don't actually have clarity on the shifts that are taking place and what's going on. But what Spirit is saying is a lot of people are learning how to get out of their ego and be more understanding to other people, seeing that what people are doing has nothing to do with you, and learning how to be more patient with yourself and other people. I'm getting the word compassion. A lot of you guys are learning compassion for yourself and other people. You're starting to see things in a different way, and it's shifting things for us. We got, and I love this, and I'm going to just tell you guys this. So my middle name is Iris. I only have one tattoo, which has an iris. I know I can't fucking show shit on here. I actually made this card for my mom. My mom passed away right before I was 3. And this is the card I wanted to put an iris on it. I felt guided to it just because she picked my middle name, and she had bought me this, she used to, I guess, sell Avon, and she had bought me this glass iris, obviously before I was 3, to give me when I was older. And I remember just some shit had happened and it had broke. My dad had kind of packed some of my shit up when I was moved out, and it broke, and I still have the pieces to it, but I remember I actually found another one and stuff like that. And I don't know why the iris just always stuck with me, obviously because my middle name, but with my mom and stuff. So when I made this card, it was actually literally from my mom. When I made this deck, there's a lot of personal things in it. So when you pull the cards, people are like, oh, you can feel the energy from it. Yeah, because I infused it with my own energy and my own stuff. And so when you actually pull the cards, you can feel how much it means to me personally because of the way I made it. I was really proud of myself. I was so scared to put it out, and I was like, I don't know if it's going to resonate with people or people are going to like my deck, but I was so proud of myself, but so scared of how it was going to relate to other people. So I just want to tell you a little bit of what I put in this. With the transformation and illusions, okay. This is kind of what I was just talking about with myself. There is so much change taking place right now, and you're not seeing things clearly. The past is coming back up. Things feel very just chaotic, very shifting, kind of up and down for people who are in this cycle right now. Some of you might be in it now. Some of you might be coming into it. But there's just this huge shift, and some of you guys are getting perspective changes and seeing things different. The past is coming back up for you to see it different, for you to transmute it, and for you to change it. And as that's going on, the transformation process sometimes is very fucking painful. It's not fun. It's very emotional. It's very hard, but it has this intention. And this feels like at a personal level and a collective level of like seeing through conditioning and shit like that. But it also feels like some of you guys have a very trauma lens, myself included, people in general, not you personally. People in general have a very trauma lens of way of looking at things and what people should do and what we should expect from people and all of that. And it's like we look at things through our trauma perspective. We look at things through this very self-serving, needy shit that we didn't get as kids. And a lot of us are growing out of that, and we're learning how to look at things as truth and reality rather than what we've been taught, or healing some of our traumas. Those cards stayed in there. Healing some traumas so we can actually like move forward with them. This is the healing mantra deck. So these are like healing mantras. They're not exactly necessarily, oracle cards, but that card definitely wants to come out, whatever that is. I'm just going to read them too. You'll see what I mean. I'll tell you if there's a message with it. Okay, we got illuminating the truth. Does that not just go with the illusions card? I'm willing to see things clearly no matter the outcome. That's what I was talking about before too. And I love it. We got soothing impatience sitting right on the top as I'm talking about being impatient. This is what I was saying earlier. And it's like sometimes some of the emotions and feelings that come up are not the easiest to deal with. They don't align with what we actually want. Sometimes we'll see people a certain way that we want to see them because we think we can't have relationships or friendships, or we can't have things with them, or if we see things in a certain lens, then that means we have to make a different choice. And it's seeing the reality for what it is, and it's sometimes making those scary choices. It's trying to be honest with yourself instead of lying to yourself because you're too scared to make different choices. So the best thing I could tell people is feel what you're feeling, see the truth for what it actually is, and just let it be what it is. And if you're not ready to make a change, then ask for some empowerment to make that change, or ask spirit to guide you, and give you what you need. We got balancing the brain. I can be and do all at once. This feels like this very black and white thinking, and learning that black and white is just not accurate. Black and white thinking is not fact. Things are not always, it's either this or it's this. This means this. If you ever notice online, especially, there's a lot of triggering going on lately too. Online especially, you'll see, well, if somebody does this, or somebody says this, or somebody behaves like this, it means this. If this happens, then it means this. And it's just not the truth. Like, there is all kinds of stuff in the middle that we don't always know until we're meant to know it. And it's not just holding on to a strict set of tunnel vision beliefs. It's going, okay, let me look beyond what I've actually always looked at and see what else is going on, because maybe that's not true. What people post online is also their own perception of their reality. That is not necessarily accurate or true for you. So I've been seeing this a lot, and I've definitely been getting triggered a lot where I'll go into it and I'll see some shit and I'm like, oh, is it like this? Is it like this? And so what I realized, Spirit kind of showed me last night, what was going on with that is because I have this fear of something, and I knew I had it, but I didn't realize I had it like the way it's coming through now that I'm seeing it different. I didn't realize it was like that. And because I have this fear, I'm constantly trying to run away from something. So basically what I was doing is every single time I'm seeing something, I'm like going into it and analyzing it. And I'm like, well, is it this way? Is it this way? Is it this way? And the things that are being posted are very black and white things where it's not really open to human stuff. It's not really open to emotions. It's not really open to people's experiences and traumas and other things. It's not really trying to connect and understand. It's actually trying to disconnect us. So I saw it a little bit different. I go, okay, so every time now that I catch myself trying to analyze like this, I know this is me trying to sabotage, and I need to check in right now, and I need to see why I'm doing this. So to me, like, awareness is the biggest thing. I always say to people, once you have awareness to something, you got to change it. Like, there's just no point in prolonging shit. What's the fucking point of like hurting yourself longer in the long run? Like, And I always say this, why take the hard way when you can take the easy way? As soon as you have awareness to something, work through it. Work through it. Don't push it off for later. Don't say, oh, I'll handle it later, because all that does is just builds up more and more shit. And now you got to deal with even more heaviness. Why the fuck do that when you could just do the easier way? Just deal with it now. No, it's not comfortable. No, it's not the easiest, but you can handle that shit. Like, if you have awareness to it, that means, oh, fuck, I need to make some changes. So as soon as you have that, that's when you get your ass moving. And I know it's easier said than done, but I practice what I preach, guys. I don't just say some shit. I actually, everything that I say, I wouldn't say unless I did it myself. And everyone who knows me, like, some people have been in the store and they see me and they'll say some shit. People call me out in readings and then I'm like, oh, fuck, I gotta do that too. They're like, are you gonna do it? I go, yeah, I'll fucking do it right now and show you. Like, I don't give a shit. Because as soon as I know I need to do something, as hard as it is, I'll do it anyway. Because I'm like, ah, fuck. So why am I going to prolong it? That's just my feeling. You got triumphant success, choose wisely, and right under that you have destiny. I want to see what's under that. Deception and envy is under destiny. This feels like some illusions and masked energy having to do with something that you're desiring or wanting. You're not seeing something clearly. That's just what I'm getting. You're not seeing something clearly. We have triumphant success and choose wisely. It feels like some of you guys have a choice coming up. I feel so much anxiety with this right now. Hold on. Whew, it is heavy. Feels like some of you guys are going to have to make a choice. Some of you, it feels like a relationship change or relationship ending. Some of you, it's leaving like a job. Some of you, it's just a change in perspective. It's just saying, I'm going to leave the past behind and I'm going to make different choices. I'm going to see things in a different way. It's going to be hard as you do that. You might feel some resistance from your inner child as you do it, because going into the unfamiliar and unknown is very scary. Going into the different is very scary. But do you want to live your life the way you've always lived it and dealing with the shit you've always dealt with, or you want something new? And you're going to make the right choice. Like, you're not going to make the wrong choice. Spirit's going to guide you. You already know the answer anyway. Like, we already know the answer anyway. Like, y'all might not know the situation, but you already know the answer ahead of time. So you've already been working toward this. But on that other side of that heaviness, on that other side of the releasing, which FYI, most of you guys are already doing this. You just don't even know you're doing it. Like, Spirit's saying, like, y'all are doing this shit already. You just don't even know you're doing it right now. You just don't have the awareness to it right now, but you're doing it. You're already making different choices. You're already doing that, and you're going to pull yourself out. And one day things are just going to be a lot easier and a lot better because you are making different choices. All right, we got sacral chakra, universe, third eye chakra. And I love this because I'm getting dizzy as fuck as I'm saying this right now. Doing another shift right now. We've been doing shifts all fucking day. Victory and success, throat chakra, and truth. Look at all these illusions, truth, information, shit coming in. Lack of clarity, all this shit coming in. And you got the victory in success. You got triumphant success right there. So we're getting a lot of the same type of messages with that. With this sacral chakra, it feels like some of you are healing sexual issues, sexual belief systems, comfortable around your body, around sexuality, things like that. It's kind of a mix of like solar plexus and sacral chakra. Some of you, it feels like you're healing like sexual traumas from your childhood or perceptions around sexuality and sexual beliefs and things like that. But I also get this sense of empowerment energy too, that you're rising and you're growing, and there's a big shift, and a lot of the heaviness you've been feeling is actually to help you. With the third eye chakra, it actually feels like you're being blocked, but that's intentional. Like, Spirit is blocking yo ass. They're blocking you for a reason. You already have the answers. Anything that is coming up right now that is difficult for you to deal with, you've already been given the tools to deal with it. It's like the same lesson in a different box, basically. I make this joke about it. It's like, you know how like when we're in school, when we do math, right? Like they give you like the easy example. It's like 5 + 1 = 6. But then when it comes to the homework or the test, it's like all these extra numbers and all this extra shit where you're like, wait, how the fuck do I solve this? I know how to add 5 plus 1, but this other shit. But it's like you work through it, and what happens is it helps exercise your brain. It helps you figure it out. This helps you with your third eye. This helps you with your intuition. This helps you with trusting in yourself that even if I don't have that intuitive knowledge or that connection or that, I'm still making the right choices for me because I'm able to go back and say, okay, what did I already learn from this and how can I move forward? So a lot of you guys are learning to do that, and it's a big lesson of learning to trust yourself and move forward with it. I'm in this lesson too, by the way. I just got a message for myself as I'm saying that to you because I do the same shit. I'm gonna be honest, I do the same shit. They'll show me some shit, I'll feel it clear as fucking day, and then I'm like going through some purging or some fucking energy shit, and I'm like, did I misinterpret the message? Did I maybe like hear it the way I wanted to? Well, there's one time this, I'm like, maybe I'm not getting it the right way and all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, how did you feel in that moment? You know what? And then sometimes I go into, you know what? Fuck it. What difference does it make? Like, I'm going to be good either way. What difference does it make? Why do I even need to analyze this or understand it? Sometimes I'm just like, this is too much energy to even understand. Let's just let this shit go, because if I'm supposed to know, I'll know. That's like, sometimes it's just easier to like not worry about it and just be like, I'm done. But sometimes we want to worry because we want to understand, because we want to know. But if there's something that's going on, you should already have the answer to it. If you don't have the answer, you're not supposed to. You're probably clearing energy, working through trauma, working through like attachment issues, codependency, stuff like that. That's been coming up for a lot of people lately. So we got victory and success, throat chakra, truth. Okay, as soon as this, I was like, somebody needs to talk and express themselves. And as I just saw that, I just saw this. I've never even seen the card like that until right now. Look at this man just fucking screaming his shit out. This feels like expression. This feels like some people who have not been speaking their truth are about to start blowing the fuck up and speaking their truth. I don't mean in a bad way, like blowing up and exploding. I mean like Aries energy. I mean like probably like hopefully calm, blowing the shit up. It feels like this energy of I'm sick and fucking tired of not telling people how I feel. I'm sick and fucking tired of people walking all over me. I'm sick and fucking tired of people not respecting me. That's what that energy feels like. It feels like a mix of masculine and feminine energy. If you're in that energy, come from a place of self-love, come from a place of truth. Don't be attacking people, but stand up for yourself and say what you want to say. With that being said, also, there's accountability on your part and responsibility on your part too. Because if you're not speaking your truth and you're not standing in your power and you're not setting boundaries and you're expecting, or you're sitting there and you're settling, you can't always get really mad at other people because you're also participating in that. You're making that choice. And that's a balanced thing. It's two people. It's two people doing it. Sometimes people do things that are more outwardly fucked up than the other person. But when we're also accepting, and this is not like a blame, feel guilty, shame shit. That's not what this is. But there's also acknowledging and accepting that we're making that choice to stick around. We're making that choice to deal with that. We're making that choice. And so, yeah, it's kind of fucked up of the other person, but it's also equally not great for us to be doing the same thing. So it's also taking ownership of our own shit and saying, all right, I need to make a change. This is something I need awareness of and working through it. For some of you with some of you are going to be speaking your truth, and this feels like over the next few weeks, going into maybe beginning of July, it feels like by like 4th of July, it's going to be before that. I get 4th of July for some reason specifically. It's going to be before that. So between now and then, there's going to be some type of conversations. Whatever happens with this, there is going to be some truth. Some of you are going to be putting the past behind you and getting closure and moving on from people and situations. It actually feels like a good thing. It feels like you're going to get some type of clarity or some type of understanding or some type of truth from whatever this communication is. So it's either you communicating it or somebody communicating it to you, perhaps somebody involved in your life that's going to be communicating something that somehow affects you, or you're going to be supporting them. It doesn't necessarily mean it has to actually do with you specifically. But if you are holding back from telling people your feelings or things like that, this is probably definitely for you. So anyway, I hope that this message helped. I love it. Just turned 44 minutes. I hope that this message helped, and I'm wishing you guys so much love and light.